2018 town meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start our meeting, could you please put your cell phones on airplane mode or turn them off or silence them, please, for the meeting? Future meetings. The next town council meeting will be Monday, January 7, 2019 at 7:30. Is there any other meetings? Commissioners? No other meetings? You're planning and zoning for this month?
No, not for December.
Okay. Alrighty. Meeting items, approved meeting minutes for November the 5th, 2018. Has everybody looked over the meeting minutes?
Yes.
Commissioner? Glenn?
Yeah.
Any corrections needed for the November 5th meeting minutes?
I had nothing.
Okay. I have none either. I need a motion to accept the meeting
I'd like
minutes
to
as
make a
presented.
motion to accept the November 5th meetings as presented.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Buckman. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Commissioner O'Donnell. All in favor of the meeting, or the meeting minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Police report.
Good evening. This is the November 2018 Emmitsburg Community Deputy Monthly Report. We had 3 destruction of properties within the town, 1 noise complaint, which was not Mount St. Mary students, so we can just put that right out there. 5 disorderly conducts, 6 suspicious activities, 1 fraud, 1 trespass, 1 assault, 15 alarms, 16 911 hang-ups. We assisted another agency one time and assisted the fire department one time. 12 talks cards, 3 walks cards, 56 patrol checks, and 0 bike patrols. But I understand there was 2 commissioners who did the turkey trot on the bicycle. I'm sure it was nice and warm for that. We had the traffic stats are 56 stops, 45 of those were citations, 10 warnings, 2 EROs, and we had 1 traffic complaint. We had 3 parking complaints, 2 parking citations were issued, 9 selective enforcements, and 2 crashes. We had 3 traffic arrests for the month. 1 warrant was served within the town and 2 criminal summons. Deputy Whitehouse, the Special Assignments Deputy Whitehouse, assisted with the turkey trot on Thanksgiving morning, and I gave the report at the town meeting. Both myself and Deputy Whitehouse were on duty for the election this year, which is very, very busy. I went to the Emmitsburg Elementary School and spoke to the second graders, not the 7th graders, the second graders, about theft and consequences. The principal asked me to come in and talk to the young people about certain instances there. Deputy Whitehouse had court 5 days. I had court 2 days this month. We both assisted with patrol deputies outside the town. We had an ongoing issue with the PNC ATM out of Jubilee parking lot. We are working with the bank to resolve that. That is a time consumer. Every time it goes off, we have to respond. So we are trying to resolve that issue. We had the graffiti on the bridge. Still no information regarding that. You'll see there that Carleo's received a fraudulent $100 bill It was just a one-time thing. It's not like it's going around any businesses or anything like that. And that is the community deputy monthly report.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for the deputy?
I actually do. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be directing this to you, but 15 and South Seaton Avenue, that intersection by the Valero, I think every weekend I'm aware of a crash there. And do we know?
The states.
I know it's the states, but are we able to pull the records to see how many crashes? And I really think it happens when people are going straight across opposed to people making rights.
So you think when they're coming up 15 northbound, crossing over 15 southbound, coming on North Seaton
No, I think
or
when
South
they're
Seaton?
going on South Seaton over 15, going straight across. Because,
Well, you can't go straight across.
Well, I've seen people doing that. I don't know what the accidents are caused
Well, no,
by.
Now I know why we have accidents,
Yeah,
because
but
they're
I
not
don't know
supposed to
if
go
that's
straight
the reason,
across.
But are we able to pull like data in the petition? Because
We,
so
I
many
mean,
accidents
I
there. I
can
know it's an
contact state
improvement.
police and find out how many crashes there, but what are we going to do with that data?
can we petition the state? I mean, there's got to be something to make that intersection safer. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, what they can do, Deputy Mostel, if he can reach out to the state and see if they can at least pull some stats just to see what we're looking at, and have a better idea of what's going on there.
Also, it used to be a straight across intersection.
Yes.
The state changed them all from going to prevent accidents. That's why you got to go up and come down to get to the other side.
But I know that even like I'm very, very, very patient. But if somebody's coming south on 15 and going to make that left, I cannot go across to get onto South Seaton from 15 because then it's a complete blind spot. I don't know if that's why the accidents are happening. I mean,
She means coming up from Gettysburg Way. It is a blind spot when you come up. You can't see the cars when you're going to cross.
Oh, so when you're coming southbound on
if
15?
somebody is driving
Trying
from
to go-
Gettysburg and turning left,
On Old Frederick Road.
Okay.
then if I'm coming on 15 going north to turn left where the Valero is, if there's someone there, there is no way to see incoming traffic.
Right. I understand what you're saying there. I understand what you're saying there. So you're saying this occurs, but you said the weekend earlier. Are you saying?
Well, I hear it on Frederick Scanner on weekends, but during the weekdays,
Okay.
I am asleep. Yeah.
I got
So
you.
I don't know how frequently it's happening, but I would really love to know.
Okay. Yeah, I can reach out to state police and find out what the
Thank you.
crash data there is.
Well, she is correct about them going across. They also use North Seaton. They go out and go straight across. They don't go down and around, come back up. They
I've
use
witnessed it before.
they
I've-
use
I've
the old
seen
way.
people do it.
Mm.
Then people don't use the yield lane. They go right into the road and then they go onto the road.
When they come off South Seaton, they don't use the accelerating lane. Yeah. That's another reason for crashes there.
Commissioner?
Yes.
You might want to ask for a traffic study in time once we have statistics. And once we have a traffic study in hand, there might be sort of some meat on the bones that we could get the state to act on, like to modify it. I know the Mount had done a study in order to get a bridge, and the cost is profoundly prohibitive at this time. We just don't have the traffic volume. So maybe a traffic study could get us more pylons, so people aren't jumping from the acceleration lane into the through lanes, or maybe they could modify it so there's better separation, so when you're turning, you're not blind.
Maybe after Deputy Mosteller gets the information back, then maybe we can request a traffic study.
Okay.
Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Okay. Any other? Yes. Yes. Can you come up to the mic and state your name?
Simon Blackwell, I'm with the Mount. The state may have recently done a traffic study, so officer, you might want to ask them that at the same time as you ask for the accidents, because they are actually going to do the same thing at St. Anthony Road next year. They're going to put the cut in, and we protested and asked them to revise their traffic studies because it's going to cause probable accidents in the entrance to Mount St. Mary's as that jams up the traffic there. They're going to be sending them further north to turn around, and there's a good chance they're going to be starting to turn more into the Valero when they do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's good to
Thank
know,
you.
yeah.
Thanks. Everybody else okay? Any more questions for the deputy?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
And I missed McGruff.
Town managers report?
It's me.
Good evening. This is the manager's report for October of 2018. I'll highlight some of the areas related to streets. Our staff worked overnight, assistant contractor, with painting the parking spaces and lines on East and West Main Street. That was the beginning of October. We conducted monthly street sweeping. Staff is working on cleaning some of the street globes on East and West Main Street. They continue to assist the GIS contractor with mapping of the storm drains and repaired several streetlights throughout town. Related to the park, staff put down dirt, seeded and mulched along the walkway to the Emmett Gardens tot lot. They cut down and removed trees at Silo Hill Park and also put down dirt, seeded and mulched the area. Staff mulched around all the playground equipment in the parks. They assisted the contractor with winterizing the pool and assisted the contractor with repairs to the emergency warning siren in Silo Hill and Memorial Park. Related to water, Rainbow Lake is currently at its spillway level. The well levels you'll see highlighted in the chart. Well number 3 and number 4 are online to mix with the raw water from the lake. As you know, with all the rains, the raw water coming from the lake is dirty and mucky. So those wells are used to mix with it to kind of have a better quality of water coming out of the lake. We produce an average of 280,878 gallons per day and consumed an average of 244,145 gallons per day. The difference is 17.1%, which is backwash water. We purchased 433,300 gallons from Mount St. Mary's this month. Related to wastewater, we received in the month of October 4.4 inches of rain. We currently have a surplus of 28.36 inches over the last 6 months. We treated an average of 790,000 gallons per day at the wastewater treatment plant, and we consumed approximately 244,145 gallons per day, which means in the month of October, 69.1% of the wastewater treated was wild water. We had no spills of untreated sewage in the month of October. However, we did exceed the plant's design capacity 3 times in October. Trash pickup will remain Mondays in the month of December. They will be picking up trash on Christmas Eve, which is Monday. You'll see the meetings that I attend in the month of October. I go under noteworthy, LG Sonic was removed. It was slated to be removed the first week of December. It was actually removed the last week of November. The RFPs were due for the pumping station project on November 16th. Myself and staff are currently going through. I believe we received 11 bids. We're hoping to bring you the recommended engineer for the pumping station in February. There was pre-bid meetings held at Rainbow Lake Dam for the hydraulic evaluation. Those bids are due on December 7th. Staff spent a week in the month of October flushing hydrants throughout the town. We currently have a snow removal for sidewalks RFP out. That's due on December 6th. And we just advertised for the pool management company for the opening or for next pool season, and those bids are due on January 9th. Have a short update on the bridge project. They're going to get ready to prepare to pour the bridge deck. It was supposed to be done on December 10th, but it's going to get pushed back a few days because of, I guess there's some upcoming rain. After that, the asphalt is placed and the deck is cured. They can't switch the traffic lane for 28 days. So their hopes of getting it in by the end of the year for the lane shift, it's not going to happen until about the first or second week of January. So that's the bridge update. The square, you see they've been doing a lot of work the last couple of days up there. They finished the brick at Stavros. They finished the brick steps in front of the tattoo parlor. They are currently just finishing up their punch list throughout town, or throughout East and West Main Street. And that's all that I have.
Hello?
That's all.
Is there any questions for the town manager at this time? Commissioners? Commissioner O'Donnell?
No, sir.
Mr. Ritz? Glenn? I don't have, I just have one. Not a question, but the decorations in town are really nice. I got a lot of praise for the decorations. Everybody was waiting for something to go up, and they like what they have, especially the snowflakes
Yes.
on the square.
Thank you. We're going to slowly add to it so we can extend further out East and West Main Street with each budget. We'll continue to add some things.
So
but
will the
staff
the
worked very hard.
square be completely done by Christmas?
Yes, I hope. That's their goal.
So do we plan on the dedication for the square?
I think we're gonna wait till it's
Warm out?
finished.
Okay. No, I didn't know if it's gonna wait till warmer, have it.
Probably warmer. It's
Okay.
gotta get.
Warmer's
safe.
good.
Warmer's good.
Warmer's good, yes.
Warmer's good, good.
Yeah.
I think so.
Sounds like it.
Alrighty, thank you. I have no further questions. Town planners report.
Okay, the town planners report for October 2018. Wrote talking points on the 2013 forestry study for your October 15th meeting. Finalized the zoning map amendment for 602 East Main Street. Created and distributed new zoning maps to the Board of Commissioners, Planning Commission, and Board of Appeals. Received and processed the citizen text amendment request for the town code section 1524 for the trailers. That was the first time around. For community legacy, fielded multiple resident questions regarding the facade grant. That's still very popular. We currently have 3 applications in for the 2019 monies, so that's pretty good. Worked with the Maryland Historical Trust and applicant in order to get a new door replacement for 309 East Main Street. Continued processing a grant for 30 West Main Street. They approved this project, and the work will begin any day now. Continued processing a grant application for 224 East Main Street. That was also approved, and it will be starting soon. Created a press release to announce the town receiving $50,000 in fiscal year 2019 Community Legacy Facade Grant funds for MS4, assisted advanced land and water as they map the existing town stormwater pipes, outfalls, inlets, etc. This project is now complete. Finalized and mailed the 2018 MS4 stormwater report. The report is available for public review on the town's website. Attended an all-day training on 1017 regarding the Maryland stormwater BMP inspection and maintenance requirements. Attended a Maryland Department of Environment webinar on nutrient trading for our permit. Created MS4 update presentation for the Board of Commissioners meeting on the 5th of November. Processed and approved the following zoning applications: use and occupancy permit, sign, concrete pad for a hot tub, deck, fence, roof repair, and a commercial pole building. Planning Commission received, processed, and provided comment on a preliminary subdivision plat of Section 3, Lots 3 and 4 for Silo Hill, and also attended that meeting on the 29th. Created a new member welcome packet and material packet for Mark Long and Glenn Blanchard. Sidewalk project coordinated no parking, street closures, and detours in order to install new mast arms and trees. Fielded multiple sidewalk project complaints. Miscellaneous applied for a $5,000 grant from the Heart of Civil War Heritage Area for historical interpretive sign redesign. The sign is located on the town square in the state of Maryland's Mason-Dixon Welcome Center on US 15. Visit Frederick has committed to provide a 1-to-1 match up to $5,000. Applied for a $5,000 cleanup and green up Maryland grant from the Keep Maryland Beautiful program. If awarded, the funds will be used to purchase 9 32-gallon recycled bins to be placed at community and memorial parks. There's currently no recycling bins at any of the parks, so hopefully we can increase the recycling rate. Completed the 2018 Form HPS 20, which is required for the distribution of state highway administrative funds. And those are the key points for October.
Thank you. Is there any questions for the town planner at this time?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
The sidewalk project, what was the nature of the complaints and what were the outcomes, just curiously?
One of the complaints was in somebody's basement, some of their siding, the walls of their basement was chipping, but that was found to be not as a result of the sidewalk project. It was due to moisture. Stuff like that. There was some minor flooding, and that was found not to be because of that. It was pre-existing. So just minor stuff like that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Ritz?
Yeah, I have one question regarding 113 East Main Street. I believe the owner's name was Miss Danielson. She came to us a few, maybe last two
Yes.
meetings ago.
Sure.
So is that going to be a traditional B&B and it's not going to be an Airbnb, correct?
So today I approved the use and occupancy permit. They did get their parking requirements in, so they're good to go. They do use Airbnb,
Okay.
so it's not a traditional bed and breakfast.
So
At this point.
Similar to the previous owner, but they're taking care of the parking situation.
Correct. She's working with the county right now to be able to do a traditional. There's some different requirements that the county has on those businesses, but the Airbnb, we don't have a lot of regulations on those right now, so it's not much we can do for that. But we're happy to have them in town.
Yes.
Great. That's good.
Thank you.
Commissioner Buckman? Glenn, do you have?
Just a quick question. I just want to say, have we confirmed December 15th as the walk on the mountain for looking at the timber harvests?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. We did change it to December 15th because December 8th, you were right, it is the last day of hunting season, just
Okay.
to be safe for everybody and for all of us.
There's a number of us that are going up there, I guess.
Yes, I think it's Commissioner Ritz, Commissioner O'Donnell, and yourself.
Okay. What time are we meeting in the lake, Rainbow Lake?
From 9 to 11.
9 to 11. Okay, I got it.
Bring
Okay,
your
thanks.
boots and bring cold gear.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
And if anything happens with snowstorms or anything, we'll have to reschedule again. But we'll
You
let
said
everybody know.
Cold gear, correct?
Yeah.
Making sure.
Yeah.
He didn't say cold beer.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe we should try to get some more vests. I'll talk to Mike K
Thanks,
just to be
yeah.
safe.
Appreciate that.
Share one.
Cold gear.
Gee.
Great. What's that like? All right.
Okay, Glenn?
Yeah, I'm good. That was it.
Okay, I have no questions at this time. Commissioner comments? Commissioner O'Donnell?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Had a great time at the Turkey Trot. I'll advise town staff this year. I was the person responsible for the spray painting markers. I made sure I purchased a water-soluble paint, so it should be dissolving. I've driven over it a few times. It has yet to dissolve, but it promised to be water-soluble. I also want to thank staff for contacting, I guess, State Highway, or did town staff clear the concrete pads at Silo Hill of the debris and the fauna that's, or the flora, rather?
State Highway took care of it.
They did a great job, and I hope we can keep them clean. So maybe that's something we can set up maybe on a regular basis, because the other side of it was pretty hideous. I was contacted by the Mother Seton School. There's a new physical education initiative where they're seeking a grant for bicycles for physical education. They want to do things where they're hoping also to ride in the parks. So town staff, I would hope that if they haven't contacted you, you might hear something from them in the next few months. The other thing, I received someone contacted me from Silo Hill. There's a concern there about dog waste not being picked up, and I advised them to go to the town website to look up the ordinance related to dog waste. They said they were having trouble finding it. I saw it, it's there, but it was a complaint we
It
had.
actually just went out in the email newsletter as well.
Oh, good. Okay. Was the ordinance cited, like the actual
Yes.
ordinance? Terrific. Great. Okay, because that will be a help. The other item, I was contacted by the cartographer who was contacted by town staff who set up the GIS for the trails. Were you guys able to get in touch with one another to resolve the mapping question?
Yes, it is outdated, so I did send you an email to see if you could go through it and make sure the trails are in the right places.
When did that go out? Did that go out today, or?
That was probably a week or two ago. I can resend that.
If you would, that would be
Yeah.
good, because
Yep.
I don't know that I've seen that. Okay, but thank you. As Mr. Sweeney said, I've heard some very positive remarks about the square. Although one person said they actually wanted bigger snowflakes. I don't know how that's possible, but for what it's worth. Thank you, sir. Oh, and Merry Christmas coming up to all.
Commissioner Ritz?
Yeah, I'll echo everyone else's sentiments. Town decorations for Christmas look great. It's been a long time since the town looked that good, so I'm looking forward to adding on each year. I regret last night. I do apologize. I got stuck working later than I wanted to, so I was not at the tree lighting. It's a one-off occurrence, so hopefully you'll see me again next year. There was something else. I guess it wasn't too important because I can't think of it right now. So I'm finished.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Buckman?
Just the lights, everyone thought they were great. I'm trying to encourage people to decorate their trees now that we have trees out to make it look even more festive in people's houses. And we're having a decorating competition, right? A contest, right? So if you guys can all do that and you just register, and we have anonymous judges. So please do that. I wanted to thank the Carriage House. Every year they put on our Christmas celebration. I hope you got a chance to go. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So if you haven't gone, please go next year. Brian McKinney, he does this amazing drone footage, which almost for every event he does for free just for the town. And those are also very nice. And I think that's it. That's it. Thank you to everyone for those lights.
Thank you. Glenn?
Thanks, Mr. President. Just a couple things. Like Commissioner O'Donnell had stated, I had the opportunity to attend the turkey trot this year. Had a good time. It was cold as anything that morning, but it was still fun. I thank Commissioner Buckman for continuing it from last year, and also with the fact that Wayne Slaughter, one of your volunteers on the Citizens Advisory Council, was able to be there and really help organize all the volunteers with registering people and
He
get
was the
things
main
set up.
person.
What's that?
He was the main person.
Yeah. I really appreciate that, and I think it basically, it kind of talks to us the importance of delegation. Sometimes, we all have families, we all have other things we need to take care of, but if we have strong committees and commissions, and we can really kind of count on these people to kind of, be at these different locations where we have these events, it really helps us kind of keep things moving. So, anyways, thanks for your committee and Wayne Slaughter again. I'd tell them thanks for me again. I thanked them that day. We had approximately, I think, over 80 people participate that morning. And when it was 23 degrees outside, that's pretty good, so it's not too bad. And again, I had the privilege to ride my bike with Commissioner O'Donnell around the course. Started off with a water bottle, and it was like 90% ice by the time I got done. So just to give you an idea how cold it was that morning, it was pretty chilly. Then, of course, the tree lighting last night. Town looks great. It's always fun to come out and see everybody, and everybody sort of get into the mood for the holidays. And again, such long nights, it seems like right now with the short days. It's just kind of the lights seem to kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Basically, it makes it a little bit easier to get through the long nights, so to speak. And I think that's about it. Okay, let's go ahead.
I want to thank the EBPA because I think they're the ones that helped with the turkey trot or took over the turkey
Yes,
trot.
that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. I thought it was EBPA.
Yeah.
I also attended the tree lighting last night. It went really well. It was really, really jam-packed with people. The Carriage House and I'd like to thank the staff for all their help they did. They were here. I was here with the mayor to decorate the tree with Mother Seton School, and the children sang. I followed them up the street, and they sang from the school the whole way up the street till they got here. Christmas Carol.
That's so nice.
And they were third graders,
Yes.
and you could hear them singing the whole way. I was inside a vehicle. Usually the schools rotate year to year on the trees, but I like to thank the staff for all their help and putting all the lights up and helping the kids get the decorations on the tree in the air. That's all I have. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you very much. Mr. President, could we, I forgot to mention this when we met earlier, could we just have a moment of silence for the passing of President Bush? Just. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. 41, very special, the last of the greatest generation. What a career he had, and what a statesman he turned out to be. starting with the turkey trot, thank Commissioner Liz Buckman for helping the EBPA launch this thing. It was thrown in their lap this year, and Wayne Slaughter, the president, they did a great job on that. And everybody, having the commissioners jump in and help patrol, and the police officers, sheriffs, thank you for helping. And very special. It's something that was started by a citizen many years ago, and it got a little bumpy trying to get the transmission, get it to work, but it came together, and it'll always be a special event for the town. The tree lighting, it was spectacular, and one of the things about it is the work the staff puts into all that out there, the quiet background people who do that, and what they did downtown, and the organization of selecting ornaments and when to go in and trying to tiptoe around, not stepping on the state highways final. It pushed us back about a week, but not to stay out of their way, so they would have another excuse not to delay completion of the square. The MML dinner's tomorrow night, and I think town manager, I'll be there, and I think Commissioner O'Donnell is going. Is anybody else going? Okay.
I can't
It's
go
going
this
to be
year.
out at Middletown. They'll do a great job out there. With the singing downtown, you got the carriage house is fantastic, and you got to thank all the choirs that come in there from the community. It brings so much together, but just quietly behind everything is their staff doing work on make sure these little things meet and tie in here. We have Christmas decorations here that memorializing the town with the date of when it was established, 1785, and they're on sale for $7. They're going quickly. They're very fast, and they're very, very attractive for the town. With regard to Commissioner Buckman's remark about the traffic out here at Seton, I had the opportunity to write an article this month for the Catoctin Banner, and I think the greatest Christmas present we got up here was that Hayward Road was shut down, finally closed. And I recounted that I was on the Planning Commission in Frederick City in 1983, and there was a death there, and the next meeting we had the state highway come in. State highway came in, and they just we heard us, and they just said, I'm sorry, there are 1,000 intersections like this throughout the state. So that was 1983, and here we are, and finally in 2018, that was a shooting gallery going down there. You never know if somebody's going to cut across, and we have the same problem here. You just got to really slow down, and driving's not a contact sport. You got to really say, because you can be right, but you can be dead right, and just don't. It's a very dangerous intersection, but I know the Mount is working feverishly all the time to accomplish something to connect that intersection, but it's going to take about 50 acres and all kinds of things to do what it needs. But I think I got everything there. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and there is nothing on Airbnbs that everybody's kind of trying to figure out. New York City, I read the Wall Street Journal, New York City, and I see Frederick City. We're just trying to bring that thing in for a safe landing, but we're so happy that all they had to do, the former owner, pretty much was to pave a parking area in the back, and it got exacerbated there. But this lady seems to be a wonderful person to work with. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I do want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. And also thank the Sheriff's Department for all their help with all the events that we've had in the last 2 months. Even though you guys are here trying to keep us safe, you are here, most of our events you guys are helping participate in. So, and keeping everybody safe. And you were out last night, and I've seen both of you and running around everywhere. So thanks for you guys' help too. Alrighty, public comment. Simon Blackwell from Mount St. Mary's.
Thank you for seeing me tonight. I'm Simon Blackwell. I'm the Chief Transformation Officer at Mount St. Mary's University. I'm here to let you know that Mount St. Mary's University has partnered with Frederick Regional Health System, FRHS, to improve the quality and access for the expanding healthcare needs of our university students. We've had massive expansion in our D1 athletics, which requires more care. And we were also seeing increased demands from our students for more hours. So we've gone from 15 hours a week to 45 hours a week of regular care for our students. While we were negotiating that deal with Frederick Regional Health System, we started speaking about the needs of the general community up here. Mount St. Mary's and Frederick Regional Health are equally committed to serving the local community as well. The organizations are in discussion of building a health and wellness center on the periphery of Mount property to provide primary care, urgent care, a lab, radiology, and physical therapy, or other services for students, local residents, and the general public whose current healthcare options in this area of the state are limited. Mount St. Mary's and Frederick Regional Health System are seeking public input on the community healthcare needs and considerations for the placement of the facility should it be deemed feasible. We'd like to request that we put on the January schedule for this meeting so we can make a formal presentation to the town. Additionally, we'll be scheduling an open house at the Mount to discuss this topic, inviting a broader spectrum of people. The first one of those we're going to schedule for Tuesday, the 11th of December from 6:30 to 7:30. And if we deem it necessary after that meeting and after the early January meeting of this group, if we're on the agenda, if we deem it necessary, we'll schedule another meeting on the 21st of January. Those people that would like to attend the meeting, you can send email to me at syblackwell@msmary.edu. Once again, that's syblackwell@msmary.edu. If you'd like to attend, let me know. Or if you'd like to just exchange email about this topic, I'm happy to respond to questions at that time. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I would like to suggest maybe if you could reach out to Sister Martha at the Seton Center to help create a panel of people that would give you some input because they are very in touch with the community.
Yes, we actually not only we've reached out to Sister Martha, we've reached out to Sister Teresa George out in St. Louis, so they're moving ahead with us. We're also going to reach out to FEMA.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great.
Kathy, do we have any room on the schedule for January for them to come in?
I will put them on the
Put them
schedule,
on-
the agenda.
I want to make sure we had room,
Yes.
on the
it's-
schedule for
it's
that,
fine.
because we do have a lot of stuff coming up. And we only-
I had a question for Mr. Blackwell.
Okay.
December 11th, 6:30 to 7:30?
Yes.
Where at the Mount?
I haven't selected the location yet at the Mount. I just confirmed this time, so it'll probably be in Patriot Hall in one of the rooms up there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
I'll just let you know I will be attending. I'll just let you know right now that
Okay.
that I will be there.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you for doing this. This is very exciting to hear about.
You're welcome. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, we have a Ron Walker, and that's for the trails ordinance, trailer ordinance. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. I was just going to ask you that. Administrative business? Do you have any administrative business? Let's get in here. Consent agenda. None. We have no administrative business. Consent agenda, we have
None.
none. Okay.
Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. This relates to cash activity as of November 27th, 2018. The cash balance as of November 1st, 2018 was $5,493,321. Deposited were $203,831. Withdrawn were $199,764. The operating balance forward at that time was $5,497,388. And that's it, sir.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions about the treasury report as presented?
I have one question. I think this
Mr.
is
Ritz?
for town staff. Solar Field 2, was it down in October?
No, it's just timing of the bills coming in.
Okay.
It had minimal use, but the bill came in after this was prepared.
Okay.
So it's just a timing.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Alrighty. We have to approve the treasury report. I can't remember. Planning Commission report.
Yes, Mr. President. Planning Commission met on November 26, 2018. We had one item on our minutes that day to handle, and it was a final subdivision plat of Section 3, lots 3, 4, and remainder for Silo Hill. We met. Zach gave us recommendations to take a look at. There were a number of recommendations that we approved, and the suggested motion was to move to conditionally approve the final subdivision plat of Section 3, lot 3 and 4, remainder north of Silo Hill. And we voted and we approved that motion. And that was basically our planning commission.
Thank you. Any questions about the planning? Commission
Yes, sir.
report?
Just for clarification, are these parcels near the Sleep Inn? Is that correct?
The one we're looking at, if I understand correctly, is the one closest to the car wash. Car wash, sorry. So there's 3 separate plats, and the one we're looking at is the one closest to the car wash.
Terrific. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem.
Any other questions? Okay. Okay, that meeting items. Now we're going to go into our agenda items. We have a Chamber of Commerce presentation by Mr. Wick Weldon.
Thank you, Mr. President and Commissioners and Mayor Briggs.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you carving a little time out for the Chamber. I promise to be less than 15 minutes unless you have a lot of questions for me. I have to tell you, there's a really great... Hi, Glenn. How are you? It's been a long time.
I've done the same out.
There's this overwhelming sense of deja vu. I spent a decade and a half sitting in a seat that Kathy sits in a municipality down in the southwestern end of this county, and there's nothing better to me than local government. It's, having been a state elected official and a county elected official, you are the ones, and Kathy and her staff are the ones who can't blame another level of government when your residents fail to be satisfied with the work that's done, no matter who does it or no matter who's responsible for it. So I just love being here, and I love listening to the reports and your interaction with your team. And I should also say, in the interest of full disclosure, that I come from Brunswick. I live in Brunswick, a house away from DFC Mostoller, who I have to tell you is one of my favorite people in the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. So it's like coming home. With me tonight, and I want to stress this, are 2 of our board members, Mr. Eric Johnson, the owner of Audio Video Group, and Mr. Eric Soder. Eric's a principal with Rogers and Associates. Eric also serves on our executive committee and is the chair of our public policy committee. So these guys are with me here, I guess, one, to keep me in line, make sure I don't overpromise, but to demonstrate to you that what I'm going to tell you really matters to us. And it really matters to us. Whoop. I don't know what So I'm not sure how to advance here.
Amy?
Looks like it's falling apart, Amy.
The rubber band. That's great.
There we go. Thank you very much. So just quickly, we are the first chartered chamber in the United States of America. When President Taft decided that business advocacy groups should be chartered by the federal government, Frederick County's horse got there first. So we have charter number 1 of the entire United States of America. We were established in 1912 by what was then the Frederick County Board of Trade. We celebrated our 100th anniversary, and you can see what our vision was. Our vision is changing, and we'll talk a little bit about that change. Except I went too fast to advance the slide, so.
Amy?
You're going to hate me, Amy, by the time this is over.
Why don't you run it for him?
Is that what you wanted?
No,
You have to go
I think
back.
going the other way, yeah.
Go back.
Yeah, one more. Yeah. Well, I can do this without the slide. I just wanted to tell you who. tell you who our chamber is. We have 860 members of the Frederick County Chamber of Commerce. 90% of our members employ fewer than 50 people. So that's not the perception, right? You think of the Frederick Chamber and you think of Leidos, AstraZeneca, Frederick Regional Health System, Frederick County Public Schools, large employers. Well, that's not who the bulk of our members are. The bulk of our members are small employers, retail, architects, engineers, landscapers, electricians, plumbers. That's who makes up your Frederick County Chamber of Commerce. We certainly love our big members, but they only make up about 10% of our total membership. The reason I'm here tonight, I've been around a long time in Frederick County and in positions of some community influence, and the perception's always been that the Frederick County Chamber of Commerce is more City of Frederick centric. I took over the chamber September 1st. I am committed to destroying that perception. To me, a business on Main Street in Emmitsburg is as important as a business on Patrick or Market Street in downtown Frederick, or on Potomac Street in Brunswick. And that ethic runs through everything we do and explains why I'm here to talk to you tonight. There's a lot of people that think our membership is just private sector, and we do have probably 450 private sector members of our chamber, but we also, the largest sector of our chamber, guess, anybody? Think about sectors of business in the community. What's the largest sector of our membership? 501c3 nonprofits is the largest sector of our membership. Isn't that interesting? So Sister Martha, I heard her referred to earlier. She is in the chamber office one Friday a month with the Nonprofit Alliance, figuring out how to better serve vulnerable people throughout Frederick County, certainly here in the North County, but throughout the county. Our chamber is changing. I mentioned our mission and our vision. Our vision is to be the trusted leader for business in a vibrant economy. But how does that make sense if I just told you that our largest sector is 501c3 nonprofits? So our board wants us to change, and they want us to focus on enhancing network opportunities for business, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about tonight, but also to be a credible influencer of public opinion on issues like transportation. When you can walk between Route 40 on 15 North and 7th Street in the city of Frederick faster than you can drive 5 nights a week, we've got a big problem. And it doesn't just affect businesses, it affects families, it affects everybody. The chamber, because of our membership, with the private sector, with the public sector, and with the nonprofit sector, we have the ability to speak with credibility if we do it in a way that's non-political, nonpartisan, and focused on what really matters. You're going to hear us talk a lot about diversity and inclusion, recognizing how Frederick County is changing. Emmitsburg's changing. All of Frederick County is changing. That's a change we need to embrace and understand. You're going to hear us focus on workforce development, making every kid K-12 college or career ready. We stand behind Superintendent Albin and her budget request, and we will testify in public meetings with the leaders of the business sector, the nonprofit sector, and our public sector partners. These are things that matter to us. These are shared human values. It doesn't matter whether you own a retail business or if you work in a classroom or if you work in an office tower. These are shared human values, things we all think are important. To demonstrate to you why this really matters and why I'm here tonight, we will be offering a free membership in the chamber to the EBPA. I want your volunteer sector interested in creating economic vitality to be able to bring 1 or 2 retail business owners a month to our card exchange. So we get 200 people one Wednesday a month somewhere down in Frederick, but we're gonna have one in Brunswick, we're gonna have one up here, one in Mount Airy, to exchange cards with customers, vendors, clients, people that they've not had the chance to meet. It won't cost EBPA a dime. That's a $360 value for a nonprofit, but we think it's important enough to give them a membership. And we'll teach them how to network. Because when you walk into a room with 200 people and you've got a stack of business cards, that's not everybody's cup of tea. And I've seen people come to our card exchanges and stand there shaking, literally shaking. So what we'll do is take them by the arm and meet 3 or 4, 5, 6 people that could change the future for them. So I'm here tonight because we believe in Emmitsburg. The Frederick County Chamber of Commerce is the Frederick County Chamber of Commerce. What happens here is as important as what happens in the city of Frederick. And to put our money where our mouth is, we're going to offer EBPA a free membership in the chamber and help them figure out how to take advantage of it. I'd love to answer any question you have, but I really do appreciate you carved out time for me to be here tonight.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Weldon? Commissioners?
Just thank you for coming up. I
Do you
know
have
this is- this
the
is
new,
great.
did you get the new president of the EBPA's,
Wade Slaughter.
is Wayne Slaughter? I don't have his number.
So what I'm going to do, if it's okay, is I'm going to leave Kathy with one of my cards.
All right.
And that way we can maybe follow back, loop back and follow up.
May I see it?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for coming up. When I was down in the thick of things down in Frederick, I was a member of the Chamber of Commerce up here. I became involved more with the EBPA. We're kind of, we always thought there was like this glass wall with, just below Thurmont. You know, that things never got up here. We really appreciate you coming up. But are you going to sing us a song before you leave?
No, so Mayor, anybody that's actually my poor wife, who's my
Yeah.
chauffeur tonight.
Deputy,
so
Deputy, does he sing in the streets down there? I've been at events where he starts singing.
you know, I'm gonna spare the good people of Emmitsburg
He's
my
got a great voice.
vocal inability.
When's
Thank
the
you.
next
Thank you.
EBPA meeting?
I don't know. We'll
I'll follow up.
Usually during the day.
we'll chase him down.
Mr. Sweetie?
Yes. Commissioner O'Donnell?
So does the Chamber of Commerce only meet in Frederick? So for example, could we invite them for meeting here in Emmitsburg at one point in time? Is
So-
that something that we can?
One of the reasons I'm asking permission to hand my card to Kathy is so that we can follow up and schedule an event. We just scheduled our annual Public Safety Awards where we recognize our first responders, our law enforcement. We're doing that at the Brunswick Fire Hall. Now, I've been told, hey, look, you got to do that event closer to Frederick because it's too far for us to drive. I don't buy it. I drive it every day. That 14 miles gives me the chance to reset my brain. So yeah, we're definitely going to we'll bring a card exchange up because I think that matters. Carriage House is a member. We've got a couple dozen members of the Frederick Chamber that are up here in North County. We need to recognize and reward that. So we'll definitely do that.
Great, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Add something.
Yes.
I mean, I'll take the home field advantage here.
Can you give your name?
Sure, Eric Soder, Emmitsburg, Maryland. So just to add on what Rick said, with the chamber, it's such a great diverse group of individuals, and that diversity is obviously in the work we do, but it's also geographically. And why I wanted to stress that is if there's something that you feel that you want chamber membership or chamber representation, obviously feel free to reach out to Rick. And if his staff can't do it, that's what the board members are here for. I mean, I am in the North County, and it's easy for me to slip in and out of these things. And we have memberships in our board of directors all throughout the county. So feel free to ask us to be part of, whatever those issues, whatever those things that are coming up. And we'll get somebody, whether it's a board member, somebody from our public policy committee, or one of the other committees, depending on the issue, or staff. So I just wanted to sort of stress that as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, agenda item number 2. Thank you for coming. Holiday parking consideration.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. As in years past, the board has approved free metered parking during the holiday season. And its staff recommendation for the holiday season would be free metered parking from Friday, December 14th of 2018 through Wednesday, January 2nd of 2019. It falls in line what you've approved in years past.
I have no problem with those dates. I think we've been doing it now for quite a few years. The last couple of years, we've been using the proceeds for, if there's any money put into the meters towards the fireworks and stuff for the community day. Is that still okay with
Also
everyone?
do the food bank?
And we did the food bank last year, I think, too. Did 2.
So we're doing it for the food bank and for the community day expenses?
Yeah, I think it was split in half.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, last year you did 50/50, 50
Yeah.
towards,
Do we need a motion for that?
yes, you would.
Yeah, we need a motion for the parking date and for the money to go to.
I'll make a motion to accept the holiday parking from December 14th through January 2nd, with all proceeds being split 50-50 towards the Emmitsburg Food Bank and the Community Heritage Day Firework Fund. Will that work?
Yes.
I'll second
Motion's been
that.
made by Commissioner Ritz and seconded by Commissioner Buckman. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, you have a discussion?
No. I was just thinking, can we put a little laminated sign on each one of those meters?
We tried it last
Yes,
time, and
that
that makes it worse, because they don't put the money in. If they don't know, they put it in.
Oh.
Transparency issue, I don't know. I'm Commissioner Buckman.
Strike that from the minutes.
We tried with the signs the last couple of years, and we tend to go down because people won't put it in, especially for visiting. So every little bit helps the food bank, and
I would scrape the bottom of my purse if I saw the sign.
some people do, but a lot of people don't.
We will make sure that it's the free metered parking, obviously, we'll post
They
it on the
post it on the
website
website
and
and stuff.
Facebook and Channel 99. So we will get the word out. People have already reached out to ask when it is this year.
Oh, they're
so
expecting it.
Yeah.
They're expecting it, and we can post it officially tomorrow since the board approved it.
It helps the businesses downtown too, for parking, for people visiting, for restaurants and stuff. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, agenda item 3, two well agreements related to the 8-inch mountain water line for consideration. Town staff.
Thank you. Just a brief history. I know that I've brought this issue to the board on several different occasions. Just a quick refresher, the 8-inch mountain water line that serviced, at the time, it serviced 3 residents, has deteriorated to the point that it cannot be repaired. Any expenses to the town would be in the upwards to $1 million to repair that line. Staff made the determination with the board approval that that line was not going to be repaired at all, and we needed to cut service to 3 residents. The first resident, we were able to move on to the 10-inch water line. That work was completed, I believe it was about 2 months ago, and I think it was in October. Then there was remaining 2 residents that needed to be removed from the line. They both were offered, per the board's approval, that the town would drill a well for them and make all the necessary connections, or the town would offer to buy them out of their water line service at the cost of what a well drill would be. So I have 2 agreements that have come forth. Both these agreements have been written, reviewed by all parties. They were written by Mr. Clapp, John Clapp, for all legal necessities. And both parties are in agreement. Staff has reviewed them. Their individual parties have agreed to them. So I will highlight, the first one would be for Mr. Grant Abrams. He is located at 8744 Crystal Fountain Road. I just highlighted portions of the agreements. A reminder, this property is not located within the municipal corporate limits of the town. As I mentioned, the infrastructure is likely to fail, possibly without any warning, in the not-too-distant future. As you know, we're coming into the hard winter. Last year, when this line failed, it was because it froze. Due to the cost of continuing to repair, replace, and otherwise maintain the pipes, the town anticipates that it will not be making any future repairs to infrastructure, which would effectively deprive the property of a potable water source. Whereas the town offered the owner an option to either have the town drill a new water well on the property to supply a new potable supply of water to the property, or pay the owner a sum of money in lieu of drilling a new well. Mr. Abrams has elected to accept the lump sum of money. So per this agreement, the town shall pay to the owner the sum of $11,655 within 14 days of the execution of this agreement. The town further agrees to remove a concrete barrier or any further remnants of it that one time covered a temporary water line on the property, which is eroded away and entered a creek on the property. The town will remove the concrete surrounding the water line in the creek bed and will bring in ballast stones to restore and shore up the embankment of that area of the creek where the water line is being removed. The parties agree that the removal of the concrete and the restoration of the creek bank work shall not commence until late winter or early spring of 2019, and such work will commence at the time as weather reasonably permits. Upon payment of the sum of money to the owner, the town shall discontinue water service to the property. Owner acknowledges that the payment of said sum is in lieu of any obligation of the town to thereafter provide water service to the property. The owner shall pay all water service charges incurred for water service provided to the town to owner's property prior to the termination of service. The town shall not be required to remove any of the existing lines or other existing water infrastructure in, on, or under the property. And that summarizes the agreement for Mr. Abrams. Any questions for this agreement?
Mr. President, I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Ritz.
I know that the 11,655 is under the cap that we discussed at our prior meeting. Just where did that number come from?
That's the amount that is expected to cost to drill the well and make all the connections with, and the electrical service and restoration of the property. We obtained bids for this work.
Okay.
And that's equal to what the bid was that we accepted. So that's how we came up with that figure.
So there's one bid, the one that was accepted?
No, we
or-
received 3 bids.
So it's not an average, it's the one that was
Yes.
chosen?
The one that we're choosing.
Okay.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Regarding the water service is what we're talking about. Do we have any obligation related to wastewater or wastewater treatment?
They didn't have any sewer service.
Okay, so,
None of these properties had sewer
okay, so this is
service.
septic or
Correct.
something similar? Okay.
Right.
So, once we are done with this property, we are done with this property. Is that correct?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
I had the opportunity to meet with the staff, with Mr. Abrams, and it was, we well-researched. The staff did a great job on packaging this thing and staying within the guidelines that was approved by you before on limits. And I think we put a high range out there just so we could, then we boil it down and come to a figure, and that's where we came to that 11,000. But the staff did a great job.
Commissioner Buckman, do you have any questions? Commissioner Blanchard? I don't have any either. I'm glad this will be done once we sign these agreements and get it done. Do you need a motion for this
Yeah,
agreement?
what I'd like is two separate motions. So if you want to do a motion to accept the Abrams agreement, that would be great.
I'll make a motion to accept the Abrams agreement as presented.
A motion's been made by Commissioner Buckman. Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Second's been made by Commissioner Blanchard. Any discussion before we vote?
Budget.
Commissioner Ritz, budget.
This is this is all related to your water fund, which is your enterprise fund, which is basically a cash, a revolving cash, like your checkbook.
Okay.
So it'll be paid out of just the revenue for your
Okay.
water fund. It was not budgeted.
But we don't have to transfer any.
No.
Okay.
Any other questions before we vote
I
on
have
this
nothing
agreement? All in favor of the agreement, please say aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
The second agreement?
The second agreement is Mr. Saxon, who is located outside the municipal corporate boundaries of the town at 8804 Crystal Fountain Road. As I mentioned, not located within the municipal corporate limits. However, the town has for many years provided the property with the property's only source of potable water. As mentioned in the last agreement, the lines are failing. It's going to fail. It's just a matter of time when it's going to fail. The property is only one of limited numbers, as I mentioned. the cost. So, for Mr. Saxon, the parties desire to enter into an agreement whereby the town will provide the property with a suitable water supply well to replace the water supplied by the town and to thereafter terminate any requirement or obligation on the part of the town to provide water to the property. So Mr. Saxon has chosen to have them well installed. We've had numerous meetings with Mr. Saxon. Mr. Mayor sat in on one of those. Again, and as well as Mr. Clapp on the final meeting with the Saxons. If we jump down to now, therefore, number 2, the town shall contract with Randall Alexander Well Drilling and Water Pump Sales and Services, hereafter known as the contractor, to locate, design, construct, install, and complete the installation of a water supply well on the property at 8804 Crystal Fountain Road in order to provide a potable water supply to the property. The contractor shall obtain all permits. The precise location of the well shall be determined jointly by Frederick County government, the contractor, and the owner. On page 3, the final arrangements are to be approved by the owner prior to the commencement of work, which approval shall not be unreasonably withheld. The contractor will provide insurance certification for damages of no less than $250,000. Paragraph 3, the well shall be designed and constructed in compliance with all governmental laws, rules, regulations, and construction standards. Paragraph 4 defines what the well is going to be. The well will be a 6-inch well and shall be drilled to a minimum depth of 200 feet and a maximum depth of 400 feet, provided, however, that if a sufficient potable water supply will yield a rate of at least 3 gallons per minute, can be established at a lesser depth, then that lesser depth shall be sufficient to satisfy the requirements, but in no event will it be less than 200 feet. The town and/or contractor shall extend piping from the well into the residence on the property and shall also provide appropriate wiring into the residence as needed for the functioning of the well at the town's sole cost and expense. The town and the contractor shall also provide, install, and connect a pressure tank inside the residence as part of the well project. Final wiring to connect the well system to the property electrical panel shall be done by a licensed and qualified electrician, provided and paid for by the town. Page 4, paragraph 5, all appropriate testing shall be conducted on the water supplied by the well by Catoctin Labs, and that's who the town uses for all our water testing. The water quality shall meet or exceed the standards required by the Frederick County Health Department. In the event that an ultraviolet light system is deemed necessary in order to meet such standards, the town shall provide such system at the town's expense. Paragraph 6, the town agrees that the owner's out-of-pocket expenses for repairs, maintenance, and upkeep of the well and its infrastructure for a period of 12 months after the acceptance date will not exceed $500. This amount is double the owner's current